let's keep going. And let's talk about a little bit more of a connection to what we did yesterday in class, which was our practice of fractions as division. So we're going to move on to that piece. You guys are very good at reviewing there. I'm going to erase this piece here for us. So let's look at the next piece, fraction as division. So we're talking about what it looks like when we, when we divide based on what a fraction is. And my board is off here. There we go. Okay, so let's get ready. I'm going to write down, I'm going to write a number, and you're going to write a complete number sentence for it, okay? So I'm going to tell you 1 divided by 3. Let me erase this, sorry. 1 divided by 3. That is an incomplete number sentence. That is an incomplete number sentence. I would like you to be able to tell me what is the dividend, what is the divisor, and what is the quotient. So how would I write that as an answer? 1/3. Beautiful. Yes, ma'am?
I don't get it.
Just like what we did yesterday. If I was to take 1 and I was to divide it into 3, let's draw that as a picture. Draw 1, divide it into 3. How much did you get? 1 what?
1/3.
There you go. Just like we did yesterday. Beautiful. Okay, let's see. Jake, what is being divided? What is the dividend?
The dividend is the 3.
Is that what's being divided?
No, the 1.
The 1 is what's being divided. So remember we were talking about problems earlier today? We were talking about, what were we talking about? We're talking about sandwiches and people. We had 4 sandwiches and 6 people. We were talking about 4 divided by 6 or 6 divided by 4. So here, how many sandwiches do I have? 1 sandwich. I'm going to divide it between 3 people. Okay, let's put some context into that. Contextualize the problem. So I've got 1 sandwich, which is what I'm going to divide up, and I'm going to share it for 3 people. How much would each person get, Stephen? 1/3. So let's complete that. 1 divided by 3. 1 is the dividend. 3 is the what? Divisor. And what is my quotient? 1/3. Let's move on. 7 divided by 6. 7 divided by 6. Can someone contextualize that problem for me? Come up with a word problem, just like I did with the sandwiches a second ago. Can someone come up with a situation where they have 7 of something? Joelle, give us some context.
There's 7 crackers being divided into 6 people equally.
Okay, 7 crackers, 6 people want to eat them. How much does each person get? Can someone come away from food? We just ate lunch. We should be able to come away from food. Tori?
Okay. There are. Okay, forgot it. There. Never mind.
We'll come back to Tori. Aylin?
There's like 7 crackers.
We just did 7 crackers. No more food.
There's 7 toy cars.
Uh-huh.
And there's 6 kids.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd have to divide the 7 cars up between the 6 kids.
How are you gonna do that?
Because some of the kids might have to share them.
Okay, they could share it, but are you gonna divide up that car? It's gonna have to be something that we could divide up, right? So just like we weren't gonna cut up that person, we're not gonna cut up the toy car. So when we're contextualizing, we need to make sure that it's something that can be done. Yes?
Yes.
Maricela?
There's 7 bottles of water, and 6 people want to drink it.
That works. How much of the bottle would each person get? Okay, so let's move on. So what is being divided? What is our dividend?
7.
7. What is our divisor? How much is it being divided into? 6. And what is our quotient? 7/6. Okay, last one. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Excuse me.
Wouldn't we change it into a mix?
Could you change it into a mixed number? Definitely. What would it be if it was a mixed number?
1 and 1/6.
1 and 1/6. And we'll get into that more in a little bit. Okay, so 13 divided by 5. Alexa, can you come up with a contextualized problem for me?
You have 13 pies,
13 pies. We're back to food.
and
Okay.
and you're sharing them with 5 people,
5 people.
and each person gets
How many?
pieces of pie.
How many? Or total pies? Yeah. Okay. Let's come up with that. What is being divided?
13.
What is our dividend? 13. What is our divisor? 5. What is our quotient? 13/5. Can anyone tell me that in a mixed number? Bella?
2 and 3/5.
2 and 3/5. Do we agree?
Yes.
Wonderful. Moving on. Out of the bottom of your page there, we have a word problem about Miss Alexa. Alexa loves making foldables in math class. She is trying to decide where she should sit in the room to be able to have the best access to the construction box. Table 1 is a 4-person table with 1 construction bucket. Table 2 is a 6-person table with 2 construction buckets, and table 3 is a 5-person table with 2 construction buckets. Which table should Alexa choose to sit at if she wants access to the largest share of materials? Draw a picture to support your answer, and notice you can do this with your shoulder partner. So talk it through with your shoulder partner, draw some pictures, attack it sentence by sentence.
Draw the table into like this, like a square, and then we can draw lines to show how many people are in it, and then you can draw the construction box in the middle of what it is.
Okay.
See, even I still draw pictures. I was just saying, even when I'm figuring out things, I still draw pictures. Right? It helps us.
Construction buckets.
Start drawing.
Alexa chooses
Start
if
drawing.
she wants to access the largest share of material. So I'm thinking that we should just draw like a whole entire table set and divide it into how many people are there. Okay, so we will need to make like how many, so like this, like on table 1 there's 4 people to table 1.
Please make sure you're using your labels so that it's not just a bunch of squares.
Because
But
it would have 2 construction buckets.
if you have 6 people and then 2 buckets, then they're all trying to get that one. But for table 3, there's only 5 people, but it also has 2 construction buckets.
I get you about the 5th one, about the 5-person table. So maybe we should try it. Maybe we should see if she can if she can still access that second construction bucket. I'll go back.
Which table is this?
I was erasing it so I could draw.
Okay. Do you want to start with table 1? Kind of go through an organized progression?
Yeah.
Maybe? Yes, ma'am.
So how about we go through each one? So the first person, table 1,
It is a 4-person table.
so there's 4 people.
I don't know. Talk to your partner.
So we can label it 4 people.
You agreed? Yeah. Okay. So how many people are sharing these buckets?
And then there's only 1 box.
Yeah. We could
But we can
just
divide it into 4.
Yeah.
And then each one would only get 1 thing. So I don't think it's number 1 for table 1. Okay, now let's do table 2.
I need to catch up.
You figure that out?
Extra person to get construction people.
But table 3
So by having 1 extra person, what does that do to the probability of getting more access to the supplies?
Because
It decreases your access? Because you gotta share with more people? Is that what you're thinking? Okay.
even though table 1 has 4 chairs less, it only has 1 construction bucket, which means less materials than 2 construction
So do you
buckets.
think people would think it was table 1 just because there's fewer people? Yeah, they're like, oh, fewer people, right? That's why I should go.
Because at first I was thinking that, but then I was thinking, well, even though that it only has 1 construction box, so and it wouldn't be table 2 because there's 6 people and it has 2 construction boxes, but this has 5 people.
Okay. So talk to me about when did you decide that it wasn't the 4 table group? What did you do that changed your mind about
Because it says...
that? I'm talking to Amaya. Amaya, what did you do that made you change your mind?
Well, it made me change my mind because once I looked over it again, I looked at it and then it said, I was like, well, this
Did you just read it or did you draw out a picture?
I draw the picture, and this is only 1 away from 4, and it has 2 construction boxes.
Definitely.
So I crossed this one out, and then I crossed this one out.
Drawing that picture definitely helps, doesn't it? Yes, sir.
would get 1 thing from each box, which means that each person would get 2 things out of 1 box. Well, each box, they would be able to get 1 thing,
For that?
which means they would probably be able to get,
Hips are bigger than that. Can you come up?
the people would get 1 thing from this box and 1 thing
Okay,
from
guys,
this
can you
box.
come up with a division sentence to go with your pictures? What? Can you come up with a division sentence to share with your pictures? Let me do table 1 with you. Table 1 has how many boxes? 1 box is going to be shared by how many people? 4. 1 divided by 4 equals
1/4.
Okay? So I've done number 1 with you. Do table 2 and table 3 and see if that supports your conclusion that you've already come to.
Are you sure?
Is there 1 box there? Or is there 2 boxes at table 2? Oh, is that table 1?
Yes, table 1.
Oh, okay, you got your tables out of order? Okay.
Okay, so we have 1/4. Can't you reduce that? Yes. But I'm leaving with the other one.
Can you girls tell me what you came up with table 2? What was your division sentence? 2 divided by 6 equals 2/6, otherwise known as 2/6 will half?
Sharing within 6 people.
What's 2/6? 1/3. Okay, and what's the last one? 2 divided by 5 equals what? 2/5. Okay, let's pull it back together, please. Pull it back together. Caleb, what did you decide? Where did you decide Alexa should sit? Which table?
Table 3.
Table 3. Why did you decide she should sit at table 3?
I decided she should sit at table 3 because I sort of went by my model.
Okay.
There are it has more boxes than table 1, and it has less people than table 2.
Okay. So you were thinking about how many people I'm sharing with?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did anyone come up with anything after they did their fraction sentence, after they did their equation? What was our equation for table 2? 2
divided by 6 equals
2 divided by 6 equals 2/6, otherwise known as 1/3. Beautiful. Table 3, 2 divided by 5 equals 2/5. Okay, so if I'm sharing 2 things with only 5 people, that seems like a better deal than sharing them with 6 people. I'd have more access, correct? Wonderful. We are ready to move on to our guided practice for the day. Well, I gotta erase that. Okay, so we're gonna take what we've been doing, and remember I gave you the boxes, the squares on your desk if you needed them. I believe this is on the back of your sheet. Yes, the landscaper problems are on the back of your sheet. A landscaper poured 4 pounds of mulch into 3 pots. What is the weight of the mulch in each pot? I want you to stop for a minute, and I want you to start by thinking about the number sense first. I want you to think about the number sense first. Don't jump into the, trying to solve it with computation and pictures and everything else. I want you to think about the number sense first. Think about what you have that's being divided and how many it's being divided into. What is my dividend? What is my divisor? Go ahead, please. And you may work with either your face partner or your table partner. Make a choice. Come on, guys, make a choice.
Just
Let me make it for you. Face partners.
okay. So what? First, I need to do that. Wait, can I? Yeah, that's what
Huh? I'll throw.
that each pot can get 1.
Each pot.
So it'd be 4 divided by 3. And what I got,
Yes, because there's 3 pots.
question, I drew 4
And my other thing with number sense was that
They cannot get any more. They can't.
1.5.
So it has to be between 1 and 2.
And something that I was also
Okay, so you
thinking
started
about
off by
was
writing
that
an
we have
equation.
1
Does your
bed
partner
left,
have an equation?
And there's a remainder
So maybe you guys need to
so
talk about
you
that.
can maybe divide that into 3 and find out.
I knew that was a
Three-
dividend
the
because
thing.
it
So,
what's being
so I think it's 1 and 1/3.
and the 3 would
3
be
pots.
divided. Then I drew 4 pots
Those are lovely pots.
to show
Okay, let me ask you a question.
4.
What is being divided?
Okay,
Are the pots being divided? Or is the mulch being divided? Which one? This has the pots being divided. Which number goes with the mulch?
4.
The 4 pounds. You're dividing the pots.
Okay. I don't think
That's what erasers are for. So we've talked about this a dozen times, right? Dozen. Oh, actually more than dozens. We're going to learn so much more from the mistakes that we make than we're going to learn from the successes. So let me put my hand up here for a minute. I've got 4 pounds, right? I need to share it with 3 pots. Can I fit 1 of these pounds into each pot? Look, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Number sense. Is there enough that everyone gets 1? Look at these
They're gonna
fingers.
get more than 1.
They're going to get more than 1. Were you getting more than 1? No. This is number sense. Start with the number sense. Don't jump into an equation until you consider the number sense first. Will you tell me? Why are you guessing so?
Because there's 3 pots.
Okay, there's 3 pots, and are you sharing? What are you sharing? Boys and girls, come together, please. Let's discuss this really carefully because we need to talk about the number sense first. Everyone put up 4 fingers. What does that 4 fingers represent?
The 4 pounds of
The mulch. Okay? The mulch. What is being shared, the mulch or the pots?
the mulch.
The mulch. So is that the dividend or the divisor?
The
Dividend. So, which number is going to go first, the 4 or the 3?
4.
4 bags of mulch, 4 pounds of mulch, excuse me, are going to be divided into 3 pots. Put your 3 pots in front of your 4 pounds. Does it look like these 3 pots are going to have more than 1 pound or less than 1 pound?
More.
More. Why, Evan? Very good. So let's think about that. For those of us that wrote 3 divided by 4, you were getting 3/4. Just my number sense alone tells me that each pot should get more than 1 pound. Is 3/4 more than 1 pound?
Less.
Less than 1 pound. So right there, ding, 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 my number sense is off. Okay? So let's think about what is being divided. The 4 pounds of mulch is the dividend. The 4 pounds of mulch is the dividend.
1 pound. So Andrew, it's 4 boxes. 4 boxes.
It is being divided into 3 pots. The 3 pots is the what? Divisor. Just like yesterday, there is more than one way to solve this. There is more than one way to solve this. Can everyone think back to our cookies problem yesterday where all the cookies were different flavors?
Yeah.
And we suddenly had to share them another way? Can you think about sharing this another way as well? Try to solve it 2 ways.
Okay, there's 1 pack of red mulch.
Try to solve it 2 ways.
1 pack of black mulch. Brown mulch and 1 pack of green
Please
mulch.
put labels because I would like us to be able to come up and share it under our document camera.
I'm trying to.
Don't worry about the second problem yet. Just pay attention to the first one.
So you could have. Okay, you have 4 packs.
Make sure you've written an expression for this problem.
And yellow. So you have 3 pots. When you divide them into, they can each get. No.
Do you have an expression written?
No.
Can we write it in a linear expression?
I think what you stand.
Yes. Nice algorithm there, Caleb.
And then the last one, I put
Okay. So what did you do? You divided these into thirds? Is that what you did? Okay. So now what you want to do is start distributing them. So that would you would distribute 1 there. Where would this one go? Here. Where would this one go? Here. No, get rid of that. That's not a 4th one. You got to erase it fully because otherwise it's going to mess with you. You don't have your labels drawn, and that's what's messing you up. You got to have your labels drawn. Your labels.
Okay, so I drew.
Okay, so I think it sounds like we're getting ready to share. Yes? Okay, I need 1 person to come up here and share their piece. Who haven't I talked to lately? I talked to all of you, good Lord. Let's go with Maricela. Maricela, come up here. And let's see what we've got going on here. Full screen. Yep, over there. So if we move you. Set it down for us. I'm going to put it right here, and you're going to go up there and talk about it. A little hard to see. Let me get a little bit closer. If you squint, you can see it. Okay, Ms. Marcella, talk us through.
I knew that 4 would be my dividend, so I drew 4 bags of mulch, and then I divided it by 3, because that's my divisor, and then I put 3 pots under my 4 bags of mulch, and then I
Distributed them?
to my 3 pots, and each of the pots would give me 4 bags of mulch. 4 thirds.
Thirds. Very good. 4 thirds. Okay, that is one way to do it. Did anyone come up with a different way where they didn't end up with an improper fraction? Let me look. Let me look. Torn. Okay. Oh, you can have it too. We still have a second problem. Don't get yourself excited. Get under the desk. You're gonna trip me. Is that there? Yep. Go up there and tell us what happened.
I did 4 squares for 4 pounds. I didn't finish writing pounds under it, but you get the idea.
We get the idea. Yes.
And I knew that 3 of the pounds would go in, 1 pound each would go into 1 pot. And the last one, over here, the one that's left alone, I broke up into 3 pieces. And one of those thirds would each go to one of the pots. And I got 1 1/3, which is also 4 thirds.
Very good. So we looked at dividing all the bags into thirds and distributing each third. And here, Tori distributed whole bags at a time. Why could she do that? Because there were fewer pots than there were pounds. I keep calling them bags, they're pounds. There are fewer pots than there were pounds. So we're going to change this problem a little bit. We're going to look at situation 2. Whoever you worked with the last time, you're going to work with the opposite this time. So if you worked with face, you're going to work with shoulder. If you worked with shoulder, you're going to work with face. This time we're going to double. Let's read what it says. A landscaper doubled the number of pounds of mulch poured into the 3 pots. What is the weight of the mulch in each pot now? Don't even start solving yet. I want you to think. I want you to predict. Based on the first problem, what is your prediction of how many pounds are going to be in the pots now? Let me hand that. Think about it. Think about the first problem, transfer that information, apply it to this new situation. Talk with your partner first, come up with an equation, then draw your pictures. Go ahead, please.
So 4 pounds, it's 4 times 2 would be 8. So it would be 8 pounds of mulch. So yeah, it would still be, so it'd be like 8 divided by 3, which would be 8 thirds. And then we can just draw the picture like we both did up here. Yeah, it said with 8 pounds of boxes.
What was our prediction at this
Our
time?
prediction was since it was doubled, we multiplied 4 times 2, and that gave us 8. So then we divided 8 by 3, and it gave us 8 thirds. Now we're, instead of drawing 4 boxes like we did up here.
Okay, that's your strategy. Tell me about your prediction. I want to hear about your prediction. If this was 4 thirds and I doubled.
We thought it was going to be 8 thirds.
Okay.
Because this is 4 thirds, so if you double 4, then you'll get 8.
Okay, because the pots isn't changing.
Yeah.
Right? Just the weight.
Bag.
Just the weight of the pounds. So we're going to be transferring that knowledge over. So how could we do that? Do we have to should we multiply it? Should we do long division? What are we going to do? How are we going to figure that out?
Well, first we just did it 4 times 2 since it said double after we predicted.
Okay.
And then so we just thought it would just be like this. So we just did 8 divided by 3.
Okay, so did we do long division or did we do it in our head? What did we do?
We did.
Mental?
Yeah.
Mental math? Mental math division?
Yeah.
Yeah? Could we have done repeated addition or multiplying by 2?
Yeah.
How? Why?
Because you're doubling the amount.
How's it going? Is your question?
I was just saying that, so I thought I saw somebody staring in the...
Oh, I'm sure there are people. I'm sure Miss Emma's trying to get in here. Yes. Your stitches are coming out. You want to go to the nurse? Okay, go ahead. What did you guys decide as a prediction?
2 2/3 pounds.
2 2/3.
Why did we come up with 2 2/3?
Because, well, 4 times, well, since the last problem was 1 1/3, you could just multiply 1 1/3 times 2.
Why?
Because you're doubling the amount of 4
Okay.
pounds.
What if I didn't want to multiply? How could I have done it?
You could have added 4 plus...
Because without it being 2 2/3, you could have got 8/3
Okay.
as an improper
So I could have done
fraction.
division for that. Okay. Could I have done repeated addition anywhere? How could I have done that, Sebastian?
You could have done the 1 1/3 plus the 1 1/3.
Is it the same thing as 1 1/3 times 2?
Yes.
Okay. So lots of different strategies here. How do we do? 2 2/3. Where did we put? We all got 2 2/3. It's a banner day.
In the beginning, I actually kind of thought of it
Mm-hmm.
by thinking that each can get 2 bags, and I was thinking of 2 bags, so I doubled the 1/3.
Okay.
Because that was just 1 bag.
So you distributed whole bags. Could we have just thought about the 1 1/3 doubled?
Yes.
What does that mean? 1 1/3 doubled
Times 2.
times 2, or instead of, if I didn't want to do times 2, what else could I have done? Divide. What is multiplication?
addition.
Repeated addition, right? Very good, Araceli. It's repeated addition. Okay, so it sounds like we came up with the fact that we really didn't need to do much computation here, because we determined that if we were going to double 1 1/3, how could we do that? Xavier, how did your table double 1 1/3?
Times it by 2.
You multiplied it by 2. Did another table do it a different way? If I didn't want to multiply, what was another way I could do it? Ailey?
You could have divided.
I could have divided the 8 divided by 3. I could have done that. But let's stick with the 1 1/3. What could I else have I done to the 1 1/3? Sebastian?
Added 1 1/3 plus 1 1/3
Why?
because it'd be the same as 1 1/3 times 2.
Repeated addition and multiplication, hand in hand. Yes? Okay, we're going to move on from here, and we are going to move into our partner practice. You are going to choose a partner who is not at your table grouping, but this is the deal. You've got to still sit at a table. Does everyone understand that? So you've got to still sit at one of these tables. You're going to bring your papers with you, but don't move yet because I'm about to give you the paper. Let's look at what we are doing here. This is our partner project. We are going to find some patterns. Denacius, you're going to be over there with Xavier. We're going to find some patterns and some relationships. So let's look at number 1 together. The division expression is 4 divided by 3. Where did the 12 thirds come from? Think back to yesterday's assignment. Where did the 12 thirds come from? Think. Put on your thinking cap. Think. Come on, Tori, think. Where did the 12 thirds come from, Alexa?
4 times 3.
The 4 wholes as thirds, right? So 4, 8, 12, right? Yes. So 12 thirds divided by 3 equals 4 thirds. Once again, the improper fraction is 4 thirds. The mixed number is 1 divided by 3. How would I write that as a standard algorithm? How would I write that as a standard algorithm? I have it on your paper. I don't have it on mine. How would I write that as a standard algorithm? Yes. What is being divided?
The 4.
The 4 is being divided by the
3.
The 3. The 4 is being divided by the 3. So everyone make sure that you're paying attention to that. If you need help, remember there's the division sheet over there to help you decide where the dividend goes. The dividend goes in the bracket. The divisor goes outside of the bracket. Remember, if we flip-flop them, it's different, correct? It's not like multiplication where you've got the community property. In division, it's not going to work the same. Okay, so you're going to work with your partner to complete this chart. Please look for patterns between B and C. Look for patterns between B and C, and then look for relationships between 2A and 2B once we get to the next sheet. But start this one. You've got 10 minutes to complete this front, and let's start trying to get the back done too. 10 minutes.
This could be 30. Yeah, because 6
Yes, sir. Okay, because this is a multiplication sentence that says this. Because we're going to check this. This is the check. See where it says check? We're going to check it. So I'm going to take my answer. I'm going to multiply it by 3. 3 times 1 1/3 equals 1 1/3 plus 1 1/3 plus 1 1/3 is 3 3/3. 3 plus 1 is 4.
So you would multiply it by the divisor.
You're going to multiply the quotient by the divisor to get the dividend. Yes. Okay? Ladies, I need you to sit at this table, please. You did not follow directions. I need you at this table, please. Or this table. Make a choice.
Divided by 5 equals something fifths. So 30 fifths.
Are we talking? Or are we just going? Okay.
So 30
Who's your partner?
fifths.
Abby?
Okay. Are you and Abby talking to each other?
Yes.
What did we come up with so far?
So far we've come up with, since 4 times 3 is 12 thirds, then we needed to do 6 times 5 to make 30 fifths.
Very good. Okay.
So we'll have to divide.
And then 30 divided by 6,
Divided by 5.
yeah, would be 6 fifths.
The improper fraction is going to be
So what am I going to write there?
36.
Okay, you just told her that. Can you explain to her why?
Because you can turn it into like then 5, 30 times 5 over 1. Wouldn't you do it like this, Bella?
Okay, let's talk about this
30 divided by 5.
So if I took 1
Equals 6 fifths, so this was like 5 there. And then you could inverse operate
try that.
Then you would turn it to 5/30ths, and then this would turn into 1/5.
Or you could do it
Don't you mean equals 1 and 1 together?
Are you guys doing your check, please?
Wait,
Okay, let's talk
inverse
about the same.
operation.
That's taking the relationships to multiplication and division and putting them together. Okay? Boys and girls, eyes please. Let's take a look at what it says for the check. Let's take a look at what it says for the check on your sheet. Let's look at problem 1A. Why does my check say 3 times 1 1/3? I thought I'm dividing. Why does it say 3 times 1 1/3? Stephen?
Because whenever you're checking division, you do the opposite.
The inverse operation. There is a strong relationship between multiplication and division. So let's try that and see if this works. 3 times 1 1/3. 1 1/3 was my quotient, correct? 3 was my divisor. So now I'm going to multiply them together and see if I get the dividend that I had. So I'm going to use repeated addition. 1 1/3 plus 1 1/3 plus 1 1/3 is going to give me 3 3/3. Can we agree with that? Yeah. What is 3 3/3?
4.
4. Was that my original dividend?
Yes.
Check. What do you mean no? Look at the problem. Number 1. Was that my original dividend? Yes. So that's how I check. So let's look at problem number 2. Problem B. What am I going to use, first of all, as my equation? I had 6 divided by 5 equals what? Equals 1 1/5. Is that what you said? Mm-hmm. Okay, how did you come up with 1 1/5? Because it was 6 fifths. How did you come up with 1 1/5?
5 can go into 6 one time, and there would be 1 left.
Beautiful. 1 and 1/5?
Divisor is 5.
5. Very good. So I'm going to do repeated addition. How many times am I going to do that?
5.
5 times. 1 and 1/5, 5 times. Let's do the ones first. 1 times 5 is 5, or 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 5. And then I'm going to do 1/5 5 times. 1/5. Hello. 2/5.
3/5, 4/5, 5/5.
So 5 and 5/5 gives me 6. Was that my original dividend?
Yes.
Strong relationship between multiplication and division. Use it for your check. Please make sure you're completing that. You've got about 5 minutes left.
So 1 1/5.
You like my aunt? You like Anna?
This is 1 1/5 because 5 divided by 6 is the track. 5 divided by 6 equals 1 and 1/5 because 5 goes into 6 one time. So what you come out so 6 minus 5 is 1, so it'll be 1 and 1/5 because this is your whole number. This is still your denominator, and this is your top. And whenever you have a T, you can always see that T. I mean, you can always see that T. This is and I remembered it because this is top. This is W, B, T. Whole, bottom, top.
Okay, you're supposed to be talking to your partners, not just working by yourself.
Okay, so
Xavier, I need you talking to your partners.
So I found that 3 times 2 is closest to 8.
Evan, talk to your partner.
What are you guys doing?
Are you guys doing your
Supposed to do that? No, it's
Put a little check mark next to it. What happened?
He thought that you were supposed to multiply by the dividend and not the divisor.
Oh, okay. So you got that backwards. So think about when we are dividing. What we're doing is, we're pretty much multiplying these to be able to subtract it, right? So you're thinking about that relationship. So make sure that you're hitting that relationship. So you're looking at the 2 and 2 2/3 times 3.
5th plus 1 1, 5th plus 1 1, 5th plus 1 1,
Do we end up in the same place?
and that
Are we doing our
equals
checks?
5 and 5/5, which equals 6. Now that is our dividend. So
Would you do it 6
that is
times or
correct.
something? 5 times?
Yeah. We multiply the quotient with the divisor, and if it equals the dividend, then we got it right. I know that's what to say. So next we're going to do the quick algorithm. So it would equal 5 goes into 6. 5 goes into 6. Oops, 5 goes into 6 one time. 5 times 1 is 5.
Starting out with 8. 6
Leaves
divided by
1.
8. It'd be 6 divided
We're
by 8.
confused because we know the denominator's 2, but we don't know how we
Okay, so how would I write that as a fraction?
to 8 third grade students.
Okay, so write that, just like we have here. Okay, so how many halves is that?
That is half.
Divided by 6.
Because look what you did here. You said 3 times 8 is 24. 6 times 5 is
30.
2 times 7 is 14 what? Halves. Yes. Yes.
You said 2s.
Well, 2's halves, cut them some slack. Eyes, please.
You're doing nothing.
Eyes, please.
14 half.
I've walked around and I've noticed that we're all doing this naturally because we've been working on this, but let's talk about this for a minute. If we were doing straight algorithm division and we weren't thinking about the fraction, we would just call this the what? The remainder. But we're trying to find out the fractional pieces. So what are we going to do with that remainder now? we're going to make it it's going to become the numerator of the fraction. So it's going to be 1 and 1 what? Third. Where did the 3 come from? From the divisor. Okay? It came from the divisor. You're all doing that already, but I had forgotten to pull us back to that. So I wanted to make sure that we were coming back around to there. Once again, make sure that you are doing your multiplication check. We're going to stop here. I have an exit slip for you, which I'm going to use to determine my grouping after this point. So I'm going to be pulling some small groups together based on this exit. So what I need you to do is I need you to quietly return to your seat.